never die.
Ladies and gentlemen, my latest creation!
Good evening, everyone. I am Loudtrix. I will be your camera guy here for the evening. Today, I've got the Captain of Jacks, and I've got the Crunch of Bites. Gentlemen, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Loudtrix. Welcome, everybody, once again to the OCCScrims. I am your lead commentator here, Captain Jack, with Hidden Pants, a.k.a. Crunch Bite. How you doing tonight, Crunch Bite?
AKA the Goat's Dreamer.
The Goat Streamer.
And I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I am doing just fine. Thank you so much, Magic Sergeant, for the follow. Definitely a good way to start our evening tonight. So we've got Komodo versus Celestial Deathball tonight. Definitely ready, based on the stream of events that have been going on. I think that we have seen every new team this last week walk away with one victory, which I thought was incredible.
Absolutely. Just that alone, like everybody's just been able to do very well on both sides, and that each one of the games has been coming down to a real close end, and from there, it's been very much so just a reflection of how hard they've been practicing within the past few weeks.
Absolutely. So we've got quite a match up for you today. We're going to go ahead and get things started on Kings Row. I have to say, I was playing a little bit today to finish getting my loot boxes for the week before they reset, and playing Ashe on console has been incredibly interesting, and I find that when they finally allow her into comp, Crunch, what do you think we're going to be seeing team composition-wise? I imagine that high-level players are already kind of trying to figure, okay, how do we structure a team around countering Ashe plus whatever else we're going to be facing? So what would be your recommendation around something like that?
Goats comp. Just anything that has a big shield to protect the front line of the team, and just anything that can help break the Bob CC. And just generally just focus. Like, as long as you're able to keep focusing down the targets as needed, that's just essentially replace just the projectile, or not the projectile, the hit scan DPS roll, and from there, most of the time, you can easily stop it with just a frontline shield.
Interesting. That's definitely some beneficial information. Let's go ahead and see how everybody is setting up tonight. We've got Komodo starting out on the defense. Going to come in with the Ryan Zarya combo of Fusion and Enders. Basement and Calamity coming in on the heels with the Brigitte Moira and Mishra and Beast coming in on the Hanzo McCree. And as our Celestial Deathball starts attacking, Mighty Peon coming in on the Widowmaker with Bagel Guy on the Hanzo. Mal and Amara going Ryan Zarya comp as well as they're pushing in for the Poke battle. Teddy Ursa and Bacon on the Ana and Zenyatta. And right now we've got both Mal and Fusion going at it, but Mal's going to come out on top. Mighty Peon getting the pick on Spaceman, and Amara taking out Calamity. It's a 3v6 fight, making 4v6 as Bagel Guy takes out Mishra, and they are pushing back. Komodo right now taking the point within 40 seconds of the start of the game. That was an incredibly focused capture. Wouldn't you say there, Crunch?
Oh, absolutely. Biggest thing was that as soon as the Reinhardt went down, they had no frontline pressure to keep their team defending, and from there they were just able to push up and get the picks as needed from the Widowmaker.
Absolutely. The stagger right there for Enders having to go to the long spawn being taken out by Amara is going to prevent them from getting into this front line to stop the payload a little too close. With 5 minutes 30 seconds on the clock, though, Celestial Deathball has plenty of time to get it to point 2. Mighty Peon still on the Widowmaker, working on that high ground, trying to get a pick every time that Rhine shield comes down. Not being incredibly successful, though. Those long sight lines do help. Oh, here comes the Nano out for Mal, and it looks like Mal had gotten stunned out of the hammer down. Unfortunately, Dragon Strike coming out for Bagel Guy ends up getting Spaceman. Mighty Peon picking off Calamity. Amara following up on Beast, and it looks like that is going to be another point clear. The only one still up is Enders, and might end up getting staggered again by the Mighty Peon as they pushed into point 2 with, wow, 6 minutes on the clock. What do you got to say to that, Crunch?
I'm just hoping that everybody's just watching to see how powerful it is once you lose the Reinhardt at the beginning of that fight to where you can just keep pushing up and have that kind of authority the entire match.
Absolutely. I'm kind of wondering why Fusion's just kind of swinging out in midair, like nobody around, just leaving that shield down to get hits on him. Mighty Peon ends up getting Mishra in the back line right there, trying to get into a good angle to get some additional picks. Hammer down, comes in for Fusion, but gets taken out by the Bagel Guy as well as Calamity. Mighty Peon taking out Beast. It's a 3v6 fight once again. 5 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. As they push into the last point, Amara takes out Spaceman. Teddy Ursa taking out Enders. Mishra does get the Storm Arrow onto Teddy Ursa, though, but that payload is still moving forward incredibly quickly. We're going to see Fusion come out as the Winston to try to get some hits behind the Mal shield right there. Transcendence coming out for Spaceman, trying to keep the team up as the Dragon Strike Graviton combo from Enders and Mishra end up getting 2. Calamity ends up taking out Amara, and that is going to be a point clear. 4 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock. That was incredibly too close for comfort. Wouldn't you say there, Crunch?
Ooh, that was just a little bit too close for anything to really be comfortable at all. But from there, though, you just really... The one other thing is that once you're running that kind of combo where you have Zarya grab Dragon, you will always have a better time, and you will always be sure that you can be guaranteed a safe push.
All right, well, here comes the Nano Drine Mal with the Dragon Strike on the point. We're within 3 meters of them capping. 4 minutes, 13 seconds on the clock. Spaceman reses Fusion. Teddy Ursa ends up team-macking Enders, and it is back and forth right now. Mishra switching over to the Pharah, takes down Mal. Fusion getting Bagel Guy, Bacon getting taken out by Calamity, and that's going to be another point hold as we pass the 4-minute mark. So I think kind of this reverse dive, essentially, to hold on to the point is really working for them, Crunch. Kind of give us the logistics of why this is working so well against a composition that's really been kind of pushing in Komodo right now.
Biggest problem that Celestial Deathball has been definitely showing is that the aggressiveness of the whole team, and that includes the main support. From there, Bacon was incredibly out of position whenever he was trying to do his Ana heals. All they had to do at that point was just have a coordinated dive between the main tank and the off tank, and from there the DPS can follow and get the pick on the main heals, and then from there just push up and then get the picks as needed.
Well, here comes the hammer down from Mal, ends up taking down 2. Mighty Peon taking out Fusion. Teddy Ursa demecking Enders. Fusion gets back in the fight thanks to Spaceman. Bagel Guy taking out Misha right there. The Coalescence coming out from Calamity, trying to keep everything up. But the Ana Nade and Graviton combo come in, allowing everyone except for the healers to get in and do an incredible amount of damage, allowing Celestial Deathball to take point 3 with 2 minutes, 55 seconds on the clock here on Kings Row. Wow, that was incredibly well timed there, Crunch. What do you think?
Oh, very, very wonderful job on Bacon's side for just throwing in the Honor Grenade and making sure that nobody could get the heal as needed. But definitely, though, just always, 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 whenever you're trying to get that one last team fight, always save the Zarya grab for the very end, so that way either you can get the Rhine combo with where you can just nano boost him, or you also have the high charge Zarya that can easily take out those super squishy targets that are all together within the Graviton.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that's incredibly beneficial that people don't think about is getting a Moira during Coalescence. Because the one thing that allows a Moira to get away from a Graviton is her ability to dash. She can't do that during Coalescence. So the fact that Amara popped that as soon as Coalescence started coming out from Calamity, the Onanade that came in from Bacon ended up negating any healing that was coming out from the Coalescence, just completely shored up all the people that were around that point, allowing them to take point 3 on their attack. Let's go ahead and see what they're going to do on the defense. It looks like they're going to stick with the composition that they ended with Bacon still on the Ana and everybody else still on the positions that they were playing before. Mishra, Fusion, and Enders coming in as the Hammond, Monkey, and Diva. I think we're seeing some lovely goats for the crunch fight here.
Oh,
Bagel Guy ends up taking out Calamity early, though. Bacon following up on Mishra is already a 4v6 fight right now. Spaceman able to get Bacon. Fusion taking out Teddy Ursa, but Bagel Guy takes out Fusion in return. Beast ends up wailing on Bagel Guy. Enders taking out Mighty Peon, and Beast taking out Mal. Enders cleaning up Amara, and once again, we're going to see an incredibly quick first point capture here on Kings Row. Crunchbite, I am just absolutely amazed by how these teams are playing tonight.
I'm very surprised at how well his Dive Goats is working out very well. Most of the time, you always just want to be sure you're running with the frontline Reinhardt shield, but with that kind of coordination that Fusion and Komodo is putting out, they're definitely focusing those main healers down first, getting the squishy targets out as soon as possible, and leaving the tanks up for last.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're going in once again, trying to pick Mal out of position. Mishra booping Mal back into the rest of the team right there. They are pushing the payload forward. Mishra ends up getting hit by Mighty Peon, swapping over to the Doomfist. The Dragon Strike comes in to the ground. It looks like a little missed shot. That Dragon Strike just went straight into the ground under the payload, unfortunately. Didn't end up getting anybody, but Mighty Peon getting an uppercut on Beast. And Amara following up on Mishra once again, allowing them to retake control right at the choke point. 4 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. It looks like this Dotes comp isn't going to work as well this time around. What do you think, Crunch?
Definitely the mainline shield needs to be in the front, so that way Mal can't just have the free shatters as he's been showing he can do for this whole game. But from there, as long as they can keep diving on the people that they need to keep going on, I'm pretty sure they'll have a fantastic time.
Enders getting the double kill on the Diva Bomb, takes out Bacon and Bagel Guy. Teddy Ursa taking out Fusion, but Mishra raining fire from above as taking out Amara. Teddy Ursa demeching Enders, but Mishra takes out Mal. And it looks like with the switch of Mishra over to the Pharah, they're going to be pushing the payload once again. Mishra just chasing back every member of the team, taking out Mighty Peon before they could get back to the rest of the team right there. And they are going to be pushing in to point 2 right now, but with just enough time that Celestial Deathball can get back in and hold some kind of defense. 3 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. The Komodo's pushing in to point 2, trying to make something happen. Mal being that frontline shield, trying to get him. There's the Graviton anti-nade right there. Ends up taking out both Beast and Fusion. The Coalescence coming out from Calamity, trying to get some damage, but Teddy Ursa ends up taking out Mishra. Calamity taking out Bacon. Enders taking out Teddy Ursa. Mighty Peon takes out Spaceman, and it looks like we're going to see Celestial Deathball retake control of the payload. 3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. What do you got, Crunch?
Biggest thing at that point is that they just need to be stop focusing the main tank as much, and they just need to be sure they can do what they did for the first point. Focus down the squishy supports that have no defense for them, immediately take them out of the fight, and then focus on the squishy DPS that have no more healing.
Absolutely. They're down to the 3-minute mark right now, wasting precious time to be able to get to that third point and match the time that Celestial Deathball made on the attack. Fusion jumping into the fight, trying to get something going. The Primal Rage is coming out and pushing everybody back. Bagel Guy ends up getting Spaceman, who switches over to the Mercy. And we're seeing lots of energy going into this fight. Mishra getting the barrage kill on Amara, but Bagel Guy gets the Storm Era on Mishra and Fusion. Mighty Peon taking out Beast. Ender's the only one left, but able to escape thanks to those Diva rockets. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Crunch, I get a feeling that maybe they might, it looks like they are going to go ahead and switch some things up to push in. Do you think that these switches are going to be good enough for them to capture point 2?
I think the biggest thing that they really want to be focusing on is just whenever they're focusing that kind of dive goats, they want to be sure they're going for the squishy targets. Every time they've been going for the main tanks and making sure that they go down first while the heals can just have free reign. They can get as much ult charge as they please and then just keep abusing just how much the tanks just love getting healed. From there, I would just definitely say keep definitely focusing on just taking out the healers as needed, and then after that, just making sure that you can keep pushing forward as a team.
Absolutely. Well, the Diva Bomb came in from Enders, didn't end up getting anybody. Transcendence from Teddy Ursa kept the team up, but it looks like Fusion and Enders and Mishra are doing damage. Up here comes the Graviton once again. Mal ends up taking out Mishra. Calamity taking out Mal with the Coalescence. Enders taking out Amara, and the Res coming in for Mishra are going to go ahead and allow them to take point 2 with now 2 minutes 50 seconds on the clock. Goodness, that was an incredible fight right there, wouldn't you say, Crunch?
Oh, absolutely. Just the ultimates that are being used at there. But for the one thing that definitely was shown was that Graviton with both of your supports being down and your Hanzo's Hanzo Crab Dragon was already eaten, you got to be sure you're using it whenever it's time to use it, not whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you think you can save a fight.
Absolutely. Calamity ends up taking out Mighty Peon. Mal trying to push back, ends up taking out Fusion. Bagel Guy ends up getting headers with both tanks down. It looks like the rest of Komodo is going to pull back for just a moment as Celestial Deathball retakes control of the payload. Uh-oh, I see someone here in the back line who's getting smashed. It's Spaceman going to get taken out by the Sleep Dart and the Mal Hammer right there. Getting caught out of position. Bagel Guy also gets Mishra. That's going to be a huge stagger for the side of Komodo right now with 1 minute 50 seconds on the clock. Crunch, what do you got?
Biggest thing that I want to see is just whenever they follow up with that Fusion ultimate, just immediately go on the targets that are stunned, take them out of the fight, and making sure to keep focusing down those supports as needed. They just love keeping up their Mal and Amara.
And I don't know where it went. I didn't even see it come down. Did you see where it went?
I saw it, but it just seemed like it was just more or less not so much a panic ultimate, but a way of just refreshing your cooldowns is Doomfist. From there, whenever you're up in the air, you can easily reset every one of your abilities, and then you can easily just go back and set up for another combo.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Well, how about that? Well, it looks like they were able to get the picks that they needed. Komodo pushing in with 60 seconds left on the clock. Mal and Amara holding on to the point right now. Graviton comes in from Enders, trying to do something. Mishra, the Wombo combo comes in, but Teddy Ursa with the Transcendence, ends up holding everybody else together. Mighty Peon takes out Beast. Enders taking out Mal. The Death Blossom ends up getting Mighty Peon, and Fusion takes out Teddy Ursa. And with a little over 30 seconds on the clock, we're going to see Komodo take point 3 here on Kings Row, making it 3-3 for our first match for OCCScrims. Woo! Incredible work between all these teams, between both these teams tonight, wouldn't you say, Crunch?
Like I said earlier, this is just the benefit of having this sort of wonderful community to have coaches being able to help you out during these practices, and you can see the improvement within all of these players, no matter what skill level.
Absolutely. With that being said, feel free, if you are interested in becoming part of the OCCScrims, applications for both players from Silver to Diamond and Masters and Grandmasters coaches are available underneath the current stream video. So be sure to fill out that application. If you have already, we will be getting in touch with you as soon as possible with the addition of 4 new teams, 1 for each division right now. We're trying to fill up as much as we can. So if you're looking to be on one of our new teams and work with them, or maybe even fill in for one of our teams that we've had for a while, please, once again, fill out those applications. 10 seconds on the clock before we see Komodo come in for the attack. 1 minute on the clock. Let's see how far they get against the Celestial Deathball. Bagel Guy coming in on the Reaper this time around to do that additional damage. And it looks like they're going to go with the traditional goats this time around. Fusion coming in on the Reinhardt, Mishra on the Diva, and Enders on the Zarya. They are pushing into the battle, trying to get something to happen. Mal comes in with the charge, ends up pinning Fusion, taking them out of the fight incredibly early. But Beast takes out Teddy Ursa in the backline. Mishra taking out Mighty Peon. Beast following up on Amara. Mal and the rest of the team are the only ones holding on to the point. 30 seconds on the clock. Bagel Guy ends up team-meching Mishra. Mal holding on as long as possible, but Spaceman ends up taking out Bagel Guy. They're getting cornered. Enders takes out Bacon, and Mal trying to get the ends up getting the Shatter down, but gets taken out by Enders right after. And it looks like point A is going to get captured by Komodo for this second push here on Kings Row. What do you got, Crunch?
Biggest thing, like I was saying before, don't use panic ultimates just to try and save a fight. Be smart. Be sure to save your ultimates whenever you're needing them during those fights. That Rhine Shatter could have been detrimental to the opposing team because that could have been an easy team wipe. But you got to be sure that you're focusing on that this is a team game. This isn't solo queue. Always be sure to be focusing as a team whenever you're playing in these kind of games.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you, Mr. Clever. Enders is incredibly popping off tonight as they push in. Remember, as the longer that overtime ticks away, the less that they're able to do. Mighty Peon ends up taking out Spaceman. The Shatter comes down for Fusion, but a counter Shatter from Mal ends up taking out most of the team. Mighty Peon taking out Enders. Beast getting taken out by Mal. Bacon demeching Mishra. Right now, Calamity's the only one left on the point trying to hold on, but gets taken out by the anti-native Bacon. And round 3 will be completed as Mal charges Spaceman far, far off the point. Just barely getting past that choke archway right there. So Crunch with 3 minutes, 19 seconds on the clock. Really, their main goal right now is to hold point A for as long as possible, because after point A gets captured, they're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to spawning and recapturing the payload. What would be your recommendation for Komodo on this defense so that they don't get taken out as quickly as they did on the first attack from Celestial Deathball?
It starts with a G and ends with Oats. Oats is still incredibly strong in this map just because of how much pressure you can put onto the point. And even if the other team is running 2 snipers to stop it, as long as you're playing around the corners, the snipers are going to have to move around to try and get those picks while the tanks are just trying to push up. So at that point, if you can play your cards right, you'll be playing a 6v2 every time.
All right, well, let's see if they can make it happen. It looks like they are coming in with the Goats comp on the defense, and we're going to see the same setup coming in from Celestial Deathball on the attack. Will they be able to take their first victory of the night, or will they be stopped by the great Komodos? Let's go ahead and find out as the attack starts for Celestial Deathball. They are coming in right now. Sonic Arrow coming in from Bagel Guy, trying to get some sights in on where Fusion and the rest of the team are setting up at. Trying to get some picks around the building right now. Shot for shot, going back and forth right now as Amara and Mal play the poke battle with Enders and Fusion. We got Mishra on the high ground as the Diva right now. Anti coming in on Fusion, trying to keep up as much as possible, but gets taken out by the Bagel Guy. That's not going to be good. Mishra ends up taking out Mighty Peon, and Beast taking out Mal. It is a 4v5 fight right now in favor of Komodo. If they can stay up, Bagel Guy ends up taking out Mishra's mech with the Storm Arrow, and they are trying to hold on as long as possible. Mighty Peon switching over to the Doomfist as Bagel Guy takes out Mishra. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Ends up missing, but separates the team enough that they're able to push back into the point a little bit. The anti-nade comes in. Mighty Peon working in the backline, trying to make something happen. Bagel Guy taking out Spaceman at the beginning of the second fight. The hammer down. comes in for Mal, doesn't end up hitting much of anything. The pin comes in, ends up getting Enders. Mighty Peon taking out Fusion with the punch. It is a 3v6 fight right now, and all they got to do is hold on. Amara demecking Mishra. Bagel Guy taking out Calamity, Mal taking out Beast, and Mighty Peon following up on Mishra with the pound, and that's going to be a point A capture with less than 30 meters to be able to capture victory here on King's Row. Let's go ahead and see what's going to happen for Komodo as they try to hold on to this 1 minute 40 seconds on the clock. The payload is coming up to the archway. Crunch Fight, give us your last little bit before I imagine we're going to see a continuous fight here on the final point.
Definitely one thing needs to be worried about is just using your ultimates and not trying to hold them for any. You want to be sure that you keep using the ults as needed.
Woo! And exactly as you said, the ultimates came out and did a lot of damage. 4-man wombo combo came in from the Bagel Guy and Amara, and it looks like they're going to walk away with first victory here on King's Row for the OCCScrims Diamond Division. Bagel Guy play of the game, of course, with that big ol' wombo. Boom, 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 boom. Even ends up getting Mishra before they're able to drop down to the point. Amazing work from both teams right there. Bagel Guy walking away with 43 eliminations, 58% kill participation during that entire match. That is one hot Hanzo, let me tell you what, folks. So what would you say is your overall analysis of that last game, Crunch?
Biggest thing is that I really want to be sure that Komodo is just pushing in whenever it's needed. Whenever Mal and them are just pushing right up into their face, it always seems like the frontline tank just wants to be sure that they want to be holding up the shield for him. But at that point, once he's already in your face and he's just trying to stop whatever's trying to happen, just be sure to put that aggression back to him. Make him a little bit more scared. From there, after he was able to push in, he realized that he was just able to take that run and do whatever he wanted with him. And that's how he was able to get those picks as needed. Kept pushing forward, kept taking Fusion out of the fight as the first pick, and letting the snipers have all the free reign in the world because their team no longer has a frontline shield to protect the back line.
Absolutely.
My biggest suggestion would be is just put a little bit more aggression on it, especially whenever you have a Brigitte and a Lucio. You have way more momentum. You have a stun that can easily stop Mal in his tracks, and then from there you're able to keep pushing forward and keep stopping Amara from getting all that juicy charge.
I definitely agree with you right there, Crunch. Especially with the Brig and Lucio, you can essentially push Mal back away from Fusion a good deal to prevent them from getting hits. But I completely agree. Fusion working on that Rhine balance that we're always talking about. When do I hold my shield up to protect my team? When do I use my hammer to try to deal out damage from an incoming tank or DPS? It's always kind of a toss-up as to what is the overall answer to taking out or using Rhine in that balance. And honestly, it's just up to the player what they deem is important at the moment. But especially when Mal's getting those free hits on a shielding Fusion, definitely important to get in there and do some work. So let's go ahead and look into the chat, see what everybody's talking about as we start things up on Hanamura. We got Mutikins saying Komodo Mishra, let's go. Pycal 4K, I hope I said that right, says let's go Mal. Mr. Clever with the Komodotes hashtag. And we got Hell's Virtue saying, I want to see the Farmara. I would love to see the Farmara as well. Let's go ahead and see how our teams are setting up here on Hanamura, our second map here for the OCCScrims evening. Looks like we're getting a little bit of interesting play coming in from Celestial Deathball as they're picking their characters, but right now it looks like Mishra and Clever are going to end up taking the Shimada brother combo with the Hanzo Genji on the DPS. Enders and Fusion coming in as the Rhine Zarya and Calamity Spaceman on the Moira and Mercy. Crunchbite, why don't you go ahead and tell me what's on Celestial Deathball this time around?
For what I'm believing is going to be the push of the century is that they want to be sure that they can cause the distraction as best as they can with Hammond. Let Mal just keep doing whatever he needs to do. From there, Amara's getting all the juicy charges needed. Bagel Guy is just there to be sure to supplement the DPS that's being pushed out by Amara and Mal. And then from there, just having the Discord damage from Teddy Ursa and the heavy heals from Bacon.
Woo woo. Let's see if they can make it happen. Round 2 here on Hanamura. Let's go ahead and see what Celestial Deathball's got as we come into our assault map. They are pushing in, getting a poke battle right now. Mighty Peon getting in the back, coming down with the slam. Doesn't end up getting much of anybody thanks to that bubble. But here comes the Bagel Guy trying to get some damage on Fusion. Ends up having to retreat though. Here comes Mighty looking to come down with a slam, but ends up retreating because it was getting a little too focused in that back line. Ender's incredibly charged up right now, holding the forward momentum with Fusion to keep them out of here. Mighty Peon coming down with the slam once again, ends up hitting in front of Fusion as Mishra gets a double kill on Bagel Guy and Teddy Ursa. Ender's following up on Mighty Peon. Clever taking out Amara, and that is going to be a hold right now. Mishra taking out Mal for Komodo. Wow, Crunch, that was an incredibly long poke battle there, but it looks like it really came out in Komodo's favor right there.
Biggest thing I was definitely say there is that kind of hesitation from IDP on. There needed to be that kind of commitment to just push on into it, get right on the healers as needed, and just cause the distraction to let Mal and Amara push up on the front line. But from there, that hesitation pushed them back, and they were able to just get immediately picked and poked over and over again.
Oh, Fat Shatter coming in from Mal, but the Graviton that comes in from Enders ended up holding everybody else in position, taking out Teddy Ursa. Mal does end up getting Clever. Bagel Guy taking out Spaceman. Amara taking out Enders, and it looks like the Coalescence coming out from Calamity, trying to stay up as much as possible, gets taken out by the Widow Scope of Mighty Peon as they take first point here on Hanamura with 2 minutes on the clock. Wow. It's just as you keep saying, Crunch, as soon as Fusion fell, it was done. They just moved in, Mal got that Fat Shatter, even without the help of the rest of the team due to the Graviton that came in from Enders, was still able to do a lot of damage to those that were shattered because of how they were grouped up, and was able to do an incredible job. Here comes the Graviton once again, Wombo combo, but a counter Wombo comes in. Teddy Ursa trying to keep everybody up, popping the Transcendence. Bagel Guy ends up taking out Enders. Mighty Peon getting both Calamity and Spaceman. But here comes the Blade coming out from Clever. Ends up taking out Teddy Ursa, but Amara follows up on Clever. Mishra taking out Mighty Peon, but Bagel Guy ends up getting Fusion. Amara supercharged with Bacon and Mal on the point right now. 2 ticks all ready for point B. 5 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, looking for point 3 as Calamity holds on as long as possible. Bagel Guy ends up taking out Calamity, but Fusion pushing back in with Clever, trying to get some dash damage right there. And we're going to see Mishra coming out on the Hamtaro to push everyone back. Bagel Guy ends up taking out Clever, and it looks like Mal's getting caught a little bit out of position. Dragon Strike coming in from Bagel Guy, separating the team right now as they push into the point. And it looks like Bagel Guy's going to take out Spaceman. Teddy Ursa taking out Calamity. Fusion trying to hold on, but gets taken out by Amara. Clever ends up taking out Mighty Peon. Enders following up on Teddy Ursa and just going back and forth right now. Clever trying to hold on as long as possible, but a Nano Drine is going to take out Clever. And right now, the only one on the point is Spaceman and Calamity trying to hold on as the Brig. Oh, the hammer down comes in from Fusion, but doesn't end up hitting anybody. The tackle comes in on Mal, ends up taking out Mal with the Fire Strike. Mishra taking out Bagel Guy. Calamity following up on Bacon, and we're going to see the hit come in from Mighty Peon, taking out Clever, but it's not going to be enough, and they're going to go ahead and push off after a 1.5-minute long fight to try to take point B. Wow, Crunch. Say something so I can take a breath.
That was a lot of Hammond I was watching go round and round and round and round on the point. Nobody focused him. That was easily able to get everybody else back to the point as needed, was able to keep pushing forward and making sure that the point was still in their favor. After that, they were able to get the full 6-man that was needed. They weren't getting the picks as quickly as they were respawning, and from there, they were just able to keep pushing forward.
Absolutely. Well, Mishra getting caught out of position ends up getting slept but might be able to get back to the rest of the team. Ends up getting antied and caught in the graviton, and there's the charge. Ends up getting charged into a long pole. Diva Bomb comes in. Excuse me, doesn't end up hitting anybody, but the minefield will take out Teddy Ursa for the moment. The Shatter comes in, takes out Clever. Amara cleaning up on Fusion as they are trying to take final point. Calamity comes in and stops the charging Rhine from taking out Spaceman. Mighty Peon follows up the final shot. The anti-nade coming up on Enders ends up taking out Bacon. Mishra taking out Mighty Peon, coming in on the Pharah right now. Bagel Guy trying to take out Mishra, but Mishra takes him out instead. Fusion taking out both Mal and Amara, and they will continue to hold on to final tick for point B. 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock. What do you got, Crunch?
Be sure to be taking down those targets as soon as possible. Do not hesitate to destroy them. Be sure to take them out. If the Diva is demeched, take out Baby Diva. If you know that Winston is going to have his ultimate, be sure to bait it out of him so that way he can not have the stall potential as he needs to. If you see that a Brick's still alive and is still having the Inspire up, be sure to take her out. She's healing all of her team and she's getting a very high amount of ult charge from that. Be sure to take out the targets as fast as possible. Do not hesitate. This is a 2 CP map that is very, very sided towards the defense. You have to be sure that you're pushing forward as such and you're applying that pressure all the time. Not just whenever you have the initial push. It's for every fight.
Well, it looks like they're doing it now as the blade comes out from Clever, trying to take out Bagel Guy, but Bagel Guy takes them out instead. Here comes the Angry Monkey, trying to hold on to the point as long as possible as Bagel Guy takes out Enders. Mara gets taken out by the Primal Rage. Mishra following up on Bacon. 1 minute 40 seconds on the clock as the Coalescence comes out from Basement to try to keep the team healed and takes out Teddy Ursa. Clever following up on Mighty Peon right there. Ends up pushing back Mal. Oh, but Bagel Guy getting caught out of position, ends up taking out Clever, but Fusion follows up, takes out Bagel Guy for the stagger. And right now, the only one close to the point is Mal, but is able to retreat just enough to get back to the team. 1 minute, 15 seconds on the clock. It seems like this composition that they've got going on right now is really helping them out. Wouldn't you say, Crunch?
Oh, absolutely. The mobility is super high. The damage is just as high as well with the 2 DPS from Mishra and Clever. And from there, just having the res potential from the Mercy is huge. Plus, also having Calamity as being the Brigitte, just having the stall potential of the world, you're able to keep doing what you need to, and they're focusing you. Just keep doing what needs to be happening.
All right, well, Mighty Peon gets the first pick with the Storm Arrow. Diva Bomb coming in. Who's it going to get? Ends up getting Teddy Ursa for the fight. Mishra taking out Bagel Guy as well as the bomb is coming down. And it is a 4v4 fight on the point. The rally coming out from Calamity. Try to keep everything going as Mal charges into the point. Comes into an electrified fusion. Ends up getting taken out by Enders. Mishra taking out Bagel Guy. And Amara goes for the hard reset to try to get back to the team. 20 seconds left on the clock. Crunchbite, what do you got for this final push?
Biggest thing I can tell Celestial Deathball as of right now, be sure to take out the people that have that kind of stall potential. Be sure to be taking out the Brigitte. Be sure to be taking out the Diva. From there, be sure to just avoid the Winston if you don't have the Discord damage onto him when he's ulting. Be sure to focus the targets down all together. Don't have a moment of hesitation.
All right, well, here comes the Graviton Blade. Well, Graviton from one side and Blade from another. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Two have been down on either team right now. Enders ends up taking out Bagel Guy right now. Spaceman using the Valkyrie to keep the team up as much as possible. Enders takes out Amara. Right now, the only two left are Mal, but gets taken out by the Primal Rage. Mighty Peon takes out Spaceman, but Fusion takes out Mighty Peon. And that is going to be a point B hold here on Hanamura for Team Komodo. Woo! That was absolutely incredible defense right there. 93.2% captured for the side of Celestial Deathball. Komodo is going to have to put up quite a fight to be able to go against what we know is going to be an incredible Celestial Deathball defense. What do you think there, Crunch?
Biggest thing I want to definitely say is just that kind of coordination. It's not the same coordination that I've been seeing from the King's roadmap. From there, they were just getting not sloppy, but just they had all the potential in the world. They were able to get the first two early picks, and then from there, they just kept letting them just respawn as needed. And then from there, they were just taking the fights at a disadvantage because they were just getting a much closer fight, while everybody on the defense side was able to keep regrouping, taking out the picks as needed, such as the Ana and the Zenyatta. And from there, the DPS were just getting flanked on by the other DPS. So from there, it's just call out your targets as needed. Be sure to keep focusing on who needs to go down first. And especially above all else, know who can potentially stall the point forever. You always want to be sure that those guys go down first, so that way they can't have that opportunity that they are presented.
Absolutely. Maze, Divas, and Briggs always should be the first ones to go down in a fight if they are on the team. 10 seconds on the clock as we see Komodo preparing for their attack. It looks like they're going to come in with a 2-2-2 combo, staying on what they finished up with. Bacon and Teddy Ursa coming in as the Ana Brigette combo. Ryan Zarya for Mal and Amara, Mighty Peon on the Widow, and Bagel Guy bringing some Junkrat action to the fight as they push in with 4 minutes on the clock. Let's see what Komodo can do. It looks like they're trying to push into that side room. Fusion getting the fire strike on Bagel Guy to start things up. Here comes the charge. Ends up meeting Mal in the middle. Charging up Enders, though. Mal just trying to get in there. Fusion fighting back and forth right now as we see almost the first tick get captured right there. Spaceman takes out Teddy Ursa, Mishra taking out Mal, Clever taking out Mighty Peon, Amara, and Bacon. Sorry, Bacon gets taken out by Calamity, and Amara goes for the hard reset. Ends up allowing them to take point A with 3 minutes on the clock. Wow, what an incredible offense. Do you think Celestial Deathball has what it takes to hold on for 7 minutes on point B there, Crunch?
Absolutely, but from there, like I was saying, the one thing I would definitely like to see from them is that same kind of coordination that they're putting out for King's Row. From there, just making sure to take out those targets as needed and being sure that you are playing to your best ability, which is playing together as a team.
Oh boy, double hammer downs as Fusion shoots fire strike back at the charging Mal. Clever takes out Teddy Ursa, but Amara takes out Fusion. Calamity following up on Bacon. Spaceman taking out Amara. Mishra takes out Mighty Peon, who switched over to Tracer. Mal charges on to the point. Spaceman takes out Bagel Guy. Here comes the rally out from Teddy Ursa, trying to keep the dream alive as much as possible. Almost second tick being taken as we see Mighty Peon coming in on the Hamtaro, trying to keep the dream alive. The Graviton comes in from Amara as the team comes in to try to make something happen. A counter Graviton coming in from Enders, but the damage is just back and forth right now. Not a single pick to be had on either of those Gravitons right there. The distraction is real, folks. Clever getting the first pick on Bacon right there, but the Dragon Strike comes out from Bagel Guy, ends up taking out Spaceman and Mishra. Clever ends up reflecting the Storm Arrow into Bagel Guy. Calamity taking out Teddy Ursa. Mal following up on Fusion. Clever coming out with the blade. Takes out Mal. Enders following up on Mighty Peon. And it looks like the only one left is Bacon. And they take away the victory. Komodo tying things up on map 2 here on Hanamura. 1-1 here on OCCScrims Diamond Division. Woo! Oh, man. Sharpshooter play of the game coming out from Mighty Peon right here, getting those picks. Whoop. Bagel Guy ends up getting Enders. Mighty Peon getting that first pick on Spaceman. Headshot on Calamity. Both healers for their initial push ended up getting them 2 ticks to start things off, but it was not good enough against the Komodos. And like I said, they will walk away with their first victory of the night, making it 1-1 as we go into halftime. Crunch, you got anything to add before we go ahead and take our break?
Biggest thing that I want to keep reiterating, I just want both teams to have the best understanding, because Komodo figured it out and they were able to do what was needed to be done. Take out the people that can completely stall the point. You want to be sure you can keep putting pressure on those priority targets. From there, you want to be sure that you have the majority of that objective control, making sure that you can keep following up on those picks as needed. Getting those backline healer picks is 100% guaranteed picks. And from there, making sure that you get rid of those stall targets that can easily stop that kind of shenanigans. So from there, I gotta give it to Komodo for doing such a very good job for that, and I also gotta give it to Celestial Deathball because there were a lot of great picks, but there was just one thing missing from that formula. And from there, I know they can do it, and I know this is gonna be one heck of a bunch of games tonight.
Absolutely. So go ahead and blow up the chat with who you are rooting for as we go into the half. It is 1-1 Komodo versus Celestial Deathball. We'll be right back after this 5-minute break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with our Diamond divisions. Captain Jack and Crunch Bite are your commentators. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you so much, Loudtrex. Welcome back. Hope you all had a great break. How was your break there, Crunch?
It was so-so. My buddy brought me over some Chick-fil-A waffle fries, but then the matches were getting real heated, and then from there, I wish I would have put some of the heat back into them because I don't like cold fries.
That is too bad. Oh, looks like we've got a combo name for our commentating, Captain Crunch.
Oh, very nice.
Why did we not think of that sooner? That is freaking what Captain Crunch, man. Oh, that is awesome, Joshy.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch. Oh, that's it. It's gonna stick. All right.
Very nice.
Let's go ahead and head into our third match. As you know, at halftime, Komodo and Celestial Deathball both had walked away with one win. Let's see who will take away the next victory here on Lijiang Tower. It's always interesting for me to see the different ways that teams play on different maps, because as you were saying, Celestial did an incredible job on King's Row, but then turned it around. Komodo just absolutely held a strong defense due to the fact that they weren't focusing characters. So now we're on a control map where both teams have to do both defending and attacking at the same time in order to maintain control of the objective. So based on the strategies that you've seen employed from both teams, what do you think we're going to see here, Crunch?
Biggest things I definitely want to see is just the high impact damage from Mishra, the beautiful blind picks coming in from the backline from Clever, and then just that follow up with the tanks pushing forward from Komodo. And then for Celestial Deathball, just making sure to keep putting that same amount of aggression that was in from the first game. From there, just once you keep pushing forward and you're able to keep doing the things that you need to do, then you're able to take the ball into your court and just do whatever you please. So I would just honestly say, keep playing aggressive. Everybody's going to back down, and you will easily take that point for yourself.
I totally agree with you there, Crunch. Let's go ahead and see if these teams can make it happen. It looks like we're going to see a double goats.
Yes.
A D-goats.
Yes. Double D-goats.
Double D-goats.
Double
D-goats. Double D-fun. Like double mint gum. Look at them come in. Fusion already in on. Wow. That was quick rush in thanks to Mishra. But both teams are now on the point, both running goats right now. I am interested to see how this is going to go down. It looks like the first one's going to get the fire strike from Mal onto Clever to start things off. It is a 5v6 fight right now as Komodo incredibly separated from the team, but the pin comes in for Fusion on Weapon Stick right now. It looks like Celestial Deathball will take advantage of the objective to start things off, though, getting their percentage started. But the fight is far from over as Fusion and the rest of the team now push back in to try to recapture the point. Fusion and Mal doing the belly bump right there in the middle, ends up taking each other down, and they are going back and forth right now, trying to capture the point. 5-man shatter coming down. Oh, but a shatter also comes down from Fusion, the Coalescence and the Gravitons, all those ultimates coming out. Teddy Ursa with the beat drop right there, and it looks like we're going to see Celestial Deathball hold on with just a fraction of a circle away from capture for Team Komodo. 40% to 0. Crunch, that was an incredibly intense fight right there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. But definitely, though, the one thing you want to be sure of whenever you're holding on Michigan, you want to be sure you're holding up on the high ground as best as you possibly can, because from there you're easily able to take the whole platform for yourself and you're able to push forward as needed.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like the Graviton, Shatter, and Coalescence is going to allow them to take the point now for the first time, stopping Celestial Deathball at 64% as Komodo start their climb up to 100. 3 of the 5 on the team on fire, or 3 of the 6 on fire after that fight right there. But Mal and the rest of the team are charging in. Fat Shatter again from Mal, but the beat drop comes in from Mishra to keep everybody up and allowing them not to follow up on damage as Mal gets taken out by Enders and pushes the rest of the team back to spawn. 30% and climbing. Here comes the rally out from Weapons Tech to try to keep everything going. Calamity coming out from the Coalescence to try to keep the team alive, along with the rally from Clever. Mal ends up taking out both Fusion and I believe Mishra right there. They're all fighting on the point now, trying to retake 46% and climbing for Komodo as Celestial Deathball retakes the point at 49%, making it 68-49. What do you got, Crunch?
Biggest thing I would definitely want to say is just making sure that you're using your ultimates whenever it's wise. Whenever they're all outside of the point like that and they're not pushing into that tight little choke, be sure to save those big ultimates, just like the Grav and Shatter, to be sure that you can get them right as soon as they're coming in through the tight choke.
All right, well, there comes the double Graviton, but only one has the bomb. And there comes the Shatter in from Fusion. Not enough to take out Mal, though. Here comes the charge on Fusion, but Calamity with the Coalescence ends up helping Beauty take out Mal. Fusion following up on Teddy Ursa. Calamity taking out Weapons Tech with the Coalescence. It's 3v6, 4v6, 5v6. Or, sorry, I'm going backwards. 1v6 as Beauty takes out Amara and Enders follows up on Volatile, reclaiming the objective 99-55 and climbing for Komodo. Wow, that was... I feel like... I would say that they're using too many ults, but sometimes it looks like those fights are just so crazy that you need those ults, especially with both teams being goats. What do you say there, Crunch?
Biggest thing is that whenever you're focusing on trying to get those picks down and as needed, if you have the upper advantage and you can be sure that you can use those ults accordingly, you just staggering the ults makes it look like a lot of ults are being used, but if you can use them effectively, it will make it always look like you do not have very many.
Absolutely. As they climb up to the 90% marks, Komodos have pushed them all the way back. Spawn, Fat Shatter coming in from Mal once again, but gets taken out by the Beauty Rockets. Enders taking out Weapons Tech, and they are holding them in spawn right now as they take the victory on point one, 100-99. Volatile barely making it to the point, trying to stop the ticker from going. Oh, man. So they were holding such a strong chokehold at their spawn door for Celestial Deathball. What would you have recommended to them to be able, for anybody, to be able to get to the point so that they could have at least brought back Komodo and possibly retaken and won that point?
From the way that Komodo is executing all of those beautiful, beautiful ultimates at that door, you definitely have a very hard time of doing it. But if you have someone like the Lucio that can easily go skate around and just go speed boost to the point to the left side, that would be the fastest way for you to reclaim it so that way you can get the overtime ticker.
All right, well, let's see if they can make it happen here on to point two at the night market. Let's go ahead and see which team is going to take away the victory this time around. Beauty going to start things off, taking out Volatile, but Amara's going to take out Fusion, and the fight is still going strong right now. We have a Calamity in the foreground trying to get something to happen, but Mishra ends up taking out Weapons Tech. Mal looks like they're getting ready to fall, but Mishra takes out Mighty Peon on the Doomfist. Amara taking out Clever right there. Mal still holding strong as Calamity takes out Teddy Ursa. Mishra taking out Mal, and Enders taking out Amara, allowing Komodo to take point. The first capture here on the night market, starting off their percentage ticker. What were you seeing there, Crunchbite?
Biggest thing is that the aggression from the Doomfist, it was just making sure that you were putting it on the targets that were needed. From there, it wasn't so much on putting it on Moira, making sure to take that Lucio out of the fight so that way he would stop booping everybody as possible, providing that AoE heals, and from there, taking out the targets that won't be able to be such a threat to your side.
I totally agree with you there, Crunch. And it looks like the fight is getting big once again. Hammer down, coming in for Mal, but doesn't look like a lot is going to follow up on that as we saw Calamity coming out with the Coalescence. Mal trying to come in, get something going, but Fusion ends up pinning him to the wall. The Graviton Coalescence combo from Volatile and Amara ends up taking out Mishra and Clever. Diva Bomb, or no, sorry, Diva just getting into the backline. Beauty trying to keep the dream alive, but gets team mech'd by the Coalescence as Amara ends up taking out Enders, and Celestial Deathball takes control of the point, 47-7. Wow, Crunch, that was an incredibly strong fight right there from Celestial.
You want me to say something really, really spontaneous and proactive?
Sure.
Here's what it is. They were aggressive, and they were able to pay off very well.
Oh man, here comes the Graviton at the choke, but not a lot of follow-up damage-wise. Fusion does get the pin onto Weapon Sec, and here comes the B-drop coming in from Mishra, trying to make something happen as the Mighty Peon fighting in the backline ends up taking out Fusion. Mal taking out Clever as well. Diva Bomb going into the point, trying to grab somebody, ends up taking out Amara. Mal and Volatile and Teddy Ursa, the only ones on the point right now, and it looks like they're getting pushed back by the rallying weapons tech. And it looks like they will hold on as Celestial Deathball surpasses Komodo's percentage, 54-47. What do you got, Crunch?
You want me to say something positive and enlightening?
Sure.
All right. Their aggression was able to pay off, but from there, I definitely gotta say, Fusion was able to have it as just the ultimate gain for their side. They needed to just be sure to hit that Q button and be sure to keep pushing forward. You guys got this. Every one of you is a great player, and I hope to goodness this becomes a very close match for these last two games.
Well, it looks like it's gonna be 75% and counting for the side of Celestial, but right now it looks like Weapons Tech's gonna pop out the rally to try to keep the dream alive as the Meteor Strike comes down, doing damage, but not hitting much of anybody. It looks like the second rally coming out from Clever, trying to keep the dream up. The Diva Bomb comes in, doesn't end up getting anybody. Mal trying to hold on for dear life with Amara and Volatile on the point as Beauty, Calamity, and Enders tried to take them out. Fusion ends up getting Weapons Tech. Mal getting taken out by Enders. Fusion pinning Volatile to the wall and taking out Amara. And it looks like Dragons will once again retake control of the point, 99-50. Holy goodness, folks. This is such a close match right now. Who are you voting to take away victory here on the Lijiang Tower? What do you think, Crunch? Is it anybody's game right now?
It is a very close and inch match right now. As long as Komodo can be able to stagger those ultimates like they were at the very beginning of that first fight, I'm 100% certain they can take this for themselves. But if they miss it, that's all in Celestial's Deathball court. It is a toss-up at this point. It is a very close match between two very high-level teams right now.
All right, it is Coalescence versus Rally right now as the team, as Celestial Deathball tries to fight in. Here comes the Meteor Strike, or I thought it was the Meteor Strike from Mighty Peon. There it comes with the Graviton. The Shatter also comes out from Fusion, but not a lot of follow-up on it. The Coalescence and D-Drop come out from Volatile and Teddy Ursa as Enders takes out Mighty Peon. It's a 5v6 fight. Heals abound as Teddy Ursa boops Calamity to the depths. The Shatter coming in from Mal, but not a lot of follow-up, unfortunately. Oh no! It looks like a lot of follow-up, actually, as Mal completely decimates the team. 99-99, the overtime ticker ticks away, and it looks like Celestial Deathball will walk away, tying it up 1-1 here on the Lijiang Tower. Woo! Holy goodness, Crunch. This is just an insane match tonight, wouldn't you say?
By golly, absolutely, G. Willikers, you're correct, Mr. Man. From there, though, that was exactly what I was anticipating. From there, if they were able to stagger those ultimates out, such as making sure to not shatter whenever the grav was out, they could have easily been able to take that opportunity whenever they were all in the grav. From there, if they weren't able to get those kills as needed, then from there, just making sure to get that follow-up on the shatter, and then pushing up as forward with a very full charge Daria.
All right. So we got a goats versus emotes here for point 3 on Lijiang Tower. Let's go ahead and see who's going to take away the victory. It looks like Mal's going to get booped to death from the hamster known as Enders. That's going to be a bad start for this first point right now. Mighty Peon trying to get in the back line, take out both Beauty and Fusion, but Fusion doing amazing work, taking out Weapons Tech and Amara right there. Mighty Peon going for the hard reset, and it looks like we will see Komodo take first capture here on Lijiang Tower's third point. I forget what this one's called. Is this Garden?
One's called the Oh yeah, this one's called Garden. I thought you were talking about the goat comp.
No. I mean, you can enlighten me to what the goat comp is as well, but I was more concerned about the map.
The Komodo goats over here are running the Dotes comp, which is the dive goats, and from there it seems like Mighty Peon is still picking on the Roadhog pick, which is in fact a Moats comp, the mediocre comp, because from there you are not utilizing the shield potential that is from the Zarya, and also the grab potential that could be going out as much.
All right, well, there comes the minefield and the primal rage, but a Diva Bomb coming out as well from Beauty. Weapon Sec ends up taking out Enders, but Fusion takes out Teddy Ursa with the primal rage, and they are still fighting for control of the point. 43 and climbing for the side of Komodo. Mighty Peon doing work, takes out Calamity and Fusion. Amara and Volatile take out Beauty. Clever goes for the hard reset, and Weapon Sec taking out Mishra as they take control 49-6. Wow, Crunch, I'm just speechless. I would say that I'm speechless if I wasn't actually saying everything right now. But really, when it comes down to these two teams and the skill that they've got going on right now, I am literally just without words as to how good these teams are fighting one another.
Biggest thing is that at this kind of top level, you want to be sure that you're utilizing those ults correctly, you're focusing down the targets as needed, and you're making sure that those shot calls that are being made, they're being followed up on as appropriate.
Absolutely. Here comes the beat drop in from Mishra as well as Teddy Ursa, trying to keep the dreams alive for both teams as we see Komodo try to fight in. Weapon Sec ends up taking out Clever as a supercharged Amara trying to charge Enders off of the point right now. It looks like they will continue to maintain control as they meet the percentage and surpass of Komodo, 51-49. Oh, wow, that was I really. There was like one pick in that whole match, and that Celestial just. Oh, whoa! I think Mishra was going for the jump and missed the wall ride. I'm guessing.
Well, he can go swim. He can go take a little swim in the
Go take a swim. Oh, it looks like Mishra was actually going for the hard reset to bring out the damage dealer of death himself, the Reaper. Let's go ahead and see if that change in composition will help out. 80% and climbing as we see Enders get into the point and ends up taking a hard reset themselves. Fusion coming out with the Primal Rage takes out Mal as Amara takes out Clever. Here comes the Diva Bomb. Ends up taking out Mighty Peon despite the heals that are coming out right now. Is 4v5 on the point as they continue to fight. The whole Celestial Deathball going up as the minefield goes down. Mishra taking out both Weapon Sec and Teddy Ursa. Fusion taking out Amara with the boop jump. And it is 99-51 again, folks. It is crazy. Blow up the chat with who y'all think is gonna walk away with the victory tonight here on Lijiang Tower. This has been an incredible match back and forth. Wouldn't you say, Crunch? But there can only be one winner.
There can only be one winner, and there isn't any participation awards after these scrims.
Well, they still got a chance to tie it up. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Play by Beauty there.
I did not see that. I was a little too far away.
She ate the grab. Very nice.
Oh, yeah, ate the grab, but it's not going to be enough as Mighty Peon comes out with the whole hog and nothing but the hog. Ends up demeching Beauty and gets taken out by Weapon Sec. Weapon Sec also taking out Mishra right there. Calamity, or Enders, trying to hold on to the point with Mishra, or with Clever right there. Trying to hold on as much as possible. Weapon Tech takes out Clever. Mal takes out Calamity. It is 99-99 again as Celestial Deathball tries to retake the point. Beauty touching just long enough to hold on. Overtime ticking away now as Celestial Deathball has retaken the point. Fusion gets pinned and taken out by Weapon Tech. The ball known as Enders pulls out the minefield, trying to get somebody. Overtime still ticking away for both teams right now as the hamster spins and spins and spins and spins, distracting on the point. Mighty Peon taking out Calamity right now. Beauty able to get back to the point. Clever getting taken out by Teddy Ursa. Diva Bomb comes down from Beauty, doesn't end up getting to anybody. Mishra going in with the Death Blossom, ends up taking out Weapon Tech, but Mighty Peon gets Mishra. Mal taking out Fusion, as well as demeching Beauty. Enders still on the point, trying to make everything happen, but ends up getting taken out by Mighty Peon, and Celestial Deathball will walk away with the victory on Li Jiang Tower, making it 2-1 here at the OCCScrims Diamond Division. Oh, crunch. Let me breathe. Let me
All
breathe.
right. Breather.
Oh, what
that
do you
one-
got for us?
For that one, whenever you're playing at this high level skill, you want to be sure that you're utilizing those ultimates correctly and effectively whenever you're pushing forward as such. From there, the biggest one that you want to be sure of is that you stagger your ultimates. You don't want to use them in the same time at the same fight, because for those moments where you could possibly have a Rhine Shatter or a Zarya Grab that can easily clear up the fight, those are 100% needed to help make sure you can retain that point and you still have ultimates for the next fight. So my suggestion would be sure to keep looking out for what possibility there is to keep pushing forward, and then you use those ultimates accordingly. If you have a DPS ultimate that can coordinate with a Zarya Grab, coordinate it with the Zarya Grab. If you have something that can coordinate well with the Rhine Shatter, coordinate it well with the Rhine Shatter. Just be sure to not just use ults sporadically, frantically, and above all else, spontaneously.
I 110% agree with you there, Crunchbite. It was an incredible match back and forth, but Celestial did walk away with the victory on Li Jiang, making it 2-1 now. Komodo still having one last chance to tie things up and take us to a Game 5 as we move on to my favorite map, Junkertown. Got nothing for that, Crunch?
For what a lot of people do know me as, I really wish I could be like Roadhog, because he was always the quiet type that always said something that was very much so intimidating, but he never said too much. And that's what I always wanted to be, but I grew up as a theater kid, so yeah, I did the exact opposite. I said a lot of words, I was loud, and I was kind of annoying.
That's exactly how I grew up, Crunchbite. Because here's what we're going to do on Junkertown. We're going to get all the treasure from around the world, see? And we're going to come in with this big payload and push it into the Queen's headquarters. But attached to the payload is going to be a big bomb. So when it goes in, we're going to take everybody out, and it's going to be so exploding.
I'm scared.
What about the gold?
Oh, goodness. That felt so good. Had to get that explodiness out of my chest. Joshy with the face. Oh, goodness. So go ahead and blow up the chat right now with who you believe is going to be your player of the match. At hopefully isn't going to be our last match of the night, but we will see as we go ahead and start things off here on Junkertown. Are we going to start?
Junkertown?
No, not
Start?
quite.
Question? Nope.
Invader is not here, and he said that we need a minute because he needs to make swaps, but he's not here to make swaps.
Okie
So
dokie.
just a second on Invader.
Well, Captain, how about you tell me more about that plan? What are we gonna do with the gold?
Oh, well, you see, the gold is just a distraction to hide the bomb. That way we can get the bomb inside since they kicked us out, and it'll go all explodey, and then we'll take over Junkertown. It'll just be you and me, Crunchbite. We'll have a great old time.
Right, but why not take the gold before the bomb explodes?
Well, I don't know. I guess we could do that.
Stop.
But something tells me we might blow up
I
in
was
the
not-
process. And if you've seen my leg, my leg kind of has a hard time with explosions, you know?
Crunch.
Is Junkrat like immune to his own explosives though?
No, not he. Remember, he just became immune to them. Remember that.
Yeah.
Before, he used to beat himself up with any kind of explosion.
I know.
Almighty
I
Jeff
have
Kaplan.
so much post-traumatic stress from all those explodey times.
Oh my god.
It was so bad.
Oh Jesus. So folks, so while we're waiting on these switches, now I want to ask you two, the commentators. You know, who's been your standout so far? Jack, start with you. Who's been your standout in these last few matches?
I have to say, I got to give a lot of love right now to Ender's. Been doing an incredible job on the Zarya, keeping the team defended. Always seems to be supercharged. The grabs are always perfectly timed, either to go with Fusion's Shatter or one of Beauty's bombs or Beast's DPS hits. Especially working with the Goats comp has been incredibly charged, essentially being their only DPS many of the times when fighting with their Goats comp against Celestial Deathball. So right now, my love is pointed towards Enders, but there's still a lot of match to be had. What about you there, Dank? Or Crunch?
What?
Well,
Oh, I was about to say.
We'll get to you, Dank.
Um, you're not gonna like me for this, but I completely 100% agree with Captain. Enders has been doing such a great job, no matter if he's been playing Diva, no matter if he's been playing Zarya. He's been able to do what he was able to do in every situation possible. He was able to get the picks as needed. He was able to follow up with Fusion as however best he could, and from there he was able to get the grabs as needed to help follow up with that damage. And Captain's right. He was able to keep following up with that high energy charge, keep putting out what he was able to needing to, and he was able to keep complementing the damage that the DPS was putting out. So my vote's for Enders. He's doing absolutely fantastic tonight.
How about you there, Dank?
I'm gonna have to give it to Mishra so far. Mishra's been making swaps like crazy, running around, taking every single role into effect, and really putting some work in tonight.
Absolutely. We were talking a little bit during the break about if we saw a Pharah battle between Amara and Mishra, and we feel that that would be incredibly close. How about you, Lautrix? What are you seeing here? Who's poking out to be your player of the match tonight?
Right now, to be quite frank with you, Clever. There's been a way that Clever's been playing the entirety of the night. He's playing that flank DPS. He is playing the Brigitte, but there's a certain finesse in the way he's moving, and quite honestly, I feel like it's relatively refreshing, So I just feel like I can kind of tell where he's going to want to go, what he's going to try to do. So honestly, I want to see more. Particularly, as I said during the break, if you look through the VOD, there is a moment where he does reflect a headshot right back at the Widowmaker, and I don't know, I was superbly impressed just being able to do all that in a split second. So Clever's I got my eye on Clever.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and see now that we're started on Junkertown. Let's see how the teams are going to set up for this attack coming in from Celestial Deathball. It looks like Fusion and Enders coming in as the Orisa Roadhog combo. Clever coming in on the Ana with Calamity on the Mercy. Beast taking the reins of the Widow, and Beauty on the Diva. So it looks like we're gonna have a triple tank comp coming in from Komodo. What do you think about that, Crunch?
Well, this is quite interesting because the one thing I could definitely see is that Beauty can definitely take the high ground potential as Diva. Beast can be able to take out the shots as needed with Widowmaker. And then from there, just making sure to keep following up with the high damage combo that is Roadhog and Orisa.
All right, well, let's see if they can hold this as we see the payload start to move for Celestial Deathball. It looks like Mal and Amara sticking with the Ryan Zarya combo. Weapons tech still on the break. Mighty Peon and Bagel Guy going for the double snipers as Widow and Hanzo and Teddy Ursa on the Ana. Mighty Peon getting the first pick on Beast to start things off, but the res from Calamity is going to bring Beast back into the fight. Mighty Peon looking to get another pick as they move around position to try to get around that Orisa shield. The payload currently stalled underneath the bridge choke point. Mighty Peon getting a second pick on the res Beast. And it looks like the anti-nade coming in from Clever, trying to allow them to push in, but Amara is going to take out Fusion to start things off. And it looks like with the 4v6, Mighty Peon's going to clean up Calamity. Amara taking out Clever, and with only 2 left on the point, it looks like point 1 is going to go to Celestial Deathball. What do you think that they need to maybe switch things up on Komodo there, Crunch?
Biggest thing I definitely would like to say is just having the Diva not so much in the main battle, but so much as putting pressure on their Widow, so that way the Widow isn't 3 shots on Beast as expected. And from there, just having that high ground potential of just pushing people off, you can easily keep making those kind of plays as needed. So from there, I would definitely say the comp isn't really what's broken is just the utilization of what to be running during these times and with what characters you're running them with.
All right, well, it looks like Ender's going to switch over to the Hamster as Fusion comes out and takes out Mighty. Mal getting the Shatter and double kill on Beast and Clever right there, building up charge once again. Bagel Guy taking out Fusion. Weapon Stack getting the D-Mech on Beauty, and Mal following up on the kill of Beauty as they continue to push in. Ender's getting just primarily stunned and stomped by Bagel Guy and Weapon Stack right there as they push into point 2, 4 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock. Now 5 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock, giving them quite a lot of time to get through this final area. French, what do you got?
Biggest thing is, same thing that I was saying from King's Row. Making sure that Fusion is able to stay up as needed, playing around the corners as needed to make sure that he doesn't get picked to the very first position, and from there just having the Reinhardt presence available so that way Mal can't run through the back line and do what he's doing.
Well, here comes a nanoed Fusion to try to make some work happen. The Diva Bomb going into the back line from Beauty. Double kill on Teddy Ursa and Mighty Peon. The tackle comes in from Fusion to try to get Mal, but it's not going to be enough until Beast comes in with the Six Shooter, ends up taking out Mal. Ender's following up on Weapon Stack. Bagel Guy takes out Beast, but Beauty takes out the Bagel Guy. Could you say that Beauty tried to save the Beast?
I'm just gonna go forward with what I want to say, and
Go ahead,
with that in mind, the one thing that definitely stopped that kind of potential is just the possibility of what happens whenever there's a Beauty Bomb that just immediately just goes uncontested. From there, Diva Bomb can just immediately go out and do 1,000 damage to whoever's even close to it, and from there, that's still an amazing amount of pressure, especially if Mal's just gonna keep doing what he's doing and keep putting that kind of pressure.
Absolutely, was able to get that fat Shatter past Fusion and took Fusion out of the fight fairly early, and after that, both Teddy Ursa and Mighty Peon were able to clean up that entire fight right there. With 4 minutes on the clock, they are pushing in to the end of point 3. Komodo does have the advantage, but can they hold on as the sleep dart comes in for Beast, taking a nap on the job. Here comes the Wombo combo from the Bagel Guy, and Amara ends up getting Enders and Beast. Amara also taking out Fusion during all of that. Bagel Guy takes out Clever in the backline, and Weapon Stack D-Mix Beauty. Calamity gets taken out by Bagel Guy, and Weapon Stack finishes Beauty off. And with 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock and completely uncontested, they will take point 3 and round 1 here on Junkertown. What do you got for us, Crunch?
Just making sure to group up as a 6-man stack. From there, just making sure to not trickle out and just making sure to play together as a full team. There was a lot of times where, yes, they were able to do the things that they were able to at the very beginning, but at that moment, they only had a fight where they were only able to have 4 to 5 people in that. Making sure to have the full team to be there to push in, especially on the DPS and the supports, you can easily keep doing what you're doing, especially with how Amara and Mal are just running into the backline, trying to get those backline picks.
I agree with you there, Crunch. It just seems like Celestial has got quite a strategy to keep their tanks up, but they're having a difficult time on the side of Komodo doing the same. Let's go ahead and see what Komodo is going to run for this attack. I might be seeing some pirate ship. It might be, arg matey.
Rarg, matey.
Rarg, matey. You're just so enthused by my Junkrat impersonation, Crunch. I can
I
just tell.
mean, don't get me wrong. You have a very wonderful Junkrat impression. It's just whenever we were sitting here, and there was a moment where I'm like, I want to be Roadhog, but I know in the back of my mind I could never be Roadhog. And
You
that
can
made
totally do it, Crunch. Just give it a shot. You gotta get it real low and raspy.
like
Just gotta-
this.
There you go. Like you got the mask on. It's kind of like Batman, but you're really big and fat. Oh. All right. Well, we'll give up our impersonations as we see Komodo pushing in. Celestial Deathball holding quite a far back position right there, giving a lot of room to Komodo right there. What do you think about that, Crunch?
Biggest thing is that you want to be sure that you're not letting the Bastion just have that free reign. But from there, making sure that you're also able to not lose all of your shield pressure and making sure that you can get them on those tight little choke areas, such as right in. They played it very well. They did an absolute wonderful job of making sure that they weren't being shown and they were able to get the picks as needed, especially that anti that was on the Bastion.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible. I was kind of wondering why they were sitting there, but as you said, they were using the environment to their advantage. You know, that Bastion can pump out a heck of a ton of damage, and, you know, trying to keep that shield up against one. I know as a Bastion, I can take down a Rhine shield in like 4 or 5 seconds if I'm well defended. So, and that's going to be the big one right now. Is Clever kind of out of position. Fusion trying to get in there and save the day as much as possible. Clever going back and resetting a little bit. Try to get some additional damage. The Halt brings together 3. Mighty Peon getting the D-Mech on Ender's Beast, taking out Teddy Ursa. Bagel Guy following up on Embers. Here comes the Dragon Strike. Ends up helping Amara take out Clever. Beast gets Bagel Guy. Mal following up on Calamity. And right now it's Beast versus Mal as Mal takes out the Beast with the Fire Strike. Amara taking out Fusion. And Beast, or Beauty rather, coming in with the res for Calamity. It looks like they're having a hard time getting past this choke point. It looks like Fusion going to switch over to the Reinhardt. Clever switching over to the Genji to try to get those Clever blades in the back line. Let's see if they can make it happen. 2 minutes on the clock right now. Mighty Peon just absolutely doing incredible with that Widow Scope. Takes out Clever before they're able to dash away. And Beast trying to poke around the corner to take out the Bagel Guy, but it looks like they're going to continue to hold the choke right now as the poke battle just goes back and forth. Teddy Ursa pumping out a lot of heals into both Amara and Mal right now, keeping them up on the point as Fusion pushes back in. Here comes, oh, the Coalescence from the side and gets slapped and slammed with the mace to the face by the weapons tech. Beast ends up taking out Mighty Peon first time tonight, but Bagel Guy gets the double kill on both Beast and I think just not sure who that last kill was on, but they are still holding on. Here comes the Diva Bomb, trying to get somebody. Does a lot of damage, but doesn't end up making anything happen. The Shatter comes in from Mal, but gets taken out by Beast. Mighty Peon taking out Clever, Beauty, and Fusion right there. Or no, not Fusion. There goes Fusion by the Bagel Guy. Mighty Peon taking out Beast as well. If I were keeping an oof counter right now, I would be saying that Mighty Peon is many oofs above Beast on the Widow battle. Wouldn't you say, Crunch?
This isn't Roblox. This is Overwatch. Why would you say such thing?
What?
Yeah, that's where the oof came from. Is that
Oh,
came from
I
Roblox
see. I didn't
online.
know that. I just know that we did that during the 6th anniversary, the 6-month anniversary, and I just thought about using it again. Now I know.
Okay. Yeah,
Now
it's
I
from
know.
Roblox Online.
Roblox Online. I'll keep that in mind. With less than 10 seconds on the clock, here comes the Wombo combo. Takes out Fusion and Beauty with the help of Weapon Stack. Bagel Guy ends up getting Calamity. Mighty Peon taking out Clever. And as overtime ticks away, Celestial Deathball will walk away with the 3-1 victory against Team Komodo here on Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. So go ahead, blow us up in the chat with who your player of the match is tonight as we watch Weapons Tech walk away with this play of the game on the Brigette. Just getting all those slams, all that Inspire charge right there. Just boom, 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 boom. Wow, incredible job from both teams tonight, Crunch. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. These games were very close, and games were definitely showing that these players are improving at a very higher rate, and they're able to take advantage of those little opportunities that can giving them that victory.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up now with our players of the match. Have we really had many changes from what we were picking earlier? I kind of want to, but I feel bad letting go of Enders because they still did a really good job.
Personally, I do.
All right, well, go ahead and start things off there, Crunch.
Is it alright if I do a little mimic voice for a little bit?
Sure, go for it.
Um, I believe that Enders was the best player in the whole match. He was able to put pressure on exactly the targets that he needed to, and from there he was able to do it and keep winning. Albert definitely gives his vote to Enders.
All right.
And that is my impression of the evening.
Very, very good. Very good, Crunch.
Fucking fantastic!
All right.
Fantastic! I love it.
I think I am going to have to switch things up because it was really close between these two enders. You still did an amazing job, but I think my final player of the match, especially after that Junkertown round, is going to have to go to the mightiest of peons, the mighty peon, doing an incredible job on all maps as Widowmaker when playing other DPS, working with the teams, trying to get things working. Did some work on the Roadhog on Li Shang Tower that ended up winning them the match on the final point right there. Just absolutely doing a great job right there. So Mighty Peon, you're going to take away my player of the match tonight. Dank Monkey, what you got?
I'm gonna have to give it to Mighty Peon as well, pulling out 3Ks, 4Ks, some even a 5K maybe, all night, just absolutely destroying it. Especially after Junkertown, cleaning up almost that entire team fight, just absolutely running the place. Congrats, Mighty Peon, you're my player of the match tonight.
How about you, Loutrex?
Now, I will say, Miggity Spaggity did freaking great. I think he did wonderful. But honestly, I still want to give it to Clever. Clever did come. I mean, he's been playing in the Diamond level for a little while. But he did initially come from Plat, initially came from Monarch, and just kind of seeing the way he's been growing, the way he's been doing. That last map wasn't exactly his best map, but I will say, I want to see more of him. I want to see more of him, want to see how he changes and how he gets better as he fine-tunes his craft, so he still gets it for me.
Alrighty, that sounds good. Looking into the chat, it looks like the only vote that we've got is for Loutrex for commentator of the match. Well, look at that.
impressive.
You get commentator of the match and you weren't
Job,
even the
Loutrex.
commentator tonight, Loutrex.
I did nothing.
Goodness gracious. I see where the love is. I see where it is.
It's
All
definitely
right.
not with Elmo.
Oh, my lord.
Oh boy. All right, folks. Well, that's going to wrap this up for us here at the OCCScrims. Walking away with the 3-1 tonight is Celestial Deathball. And as always, tell your mom, dad, sister, brother, grandma, grandpa, friends, and family, strangers even, if you see them wearing Overwatch paraphernalia and you're feeling froggy enough, invite them to join us at the Facebook group Overwatch Cavalry Club. Join us here on Twitch, either with a follow or subscribe. Even join us on YouTube with a subscription there where you'll see all our previous VODs for teams, I think all the way back to either early August or even July, I think. You can watch and see how these teams have improved, learn different tips and strategies. And if you are interested in either being a player, a coach, or even a commentator for players and coaches, the application, once again, is below the stream. For both of those, it's a silver to diamond division for players, master and grandmaster for coaches. And if you want to be a commentator, you can be at any level. Feel free to contact either myself, Captain Jack 87 on Discord, or the Loud T-Rex on Discord as well. And with that being said, I think that is going to wrap this up for us tonight. Gentlemen, do you have anything else to put out?
I'm going to just go ahead and give up the quick schedule. Please remember Wednesday, we've got the Game of Throws led by Darius Fulton and Horn Beast led by the Cheebs herself. Project Proteus the next day against Void will be coming in on Thursday, so Dad v Star-Lord. And then Frost v Monarch will be on the 1st of December. That will be what's coming up for the rest of this week. I will be playing on Thursday, so, I'm super excited for that one. That being said, please stay tuned. We might have a few special announcements for you guys coming in to the holiday season. So, do the best you can to, go ahead and keep up with us. Thank you for the follows today. Thank you for the subscriptions. If there have been any,
May I say something?
what's up, man?
The one thing I definitely want to say as an ending note for wonderful games that just happened tonight is that a lot of these players did come from such a lower rank, and from there, the community did such a wonderful job making sure to help them with any questions, any types of skills, tips, tricks that can possibly keep helping them out. Same as what was going on with Clever. He was a plat player, and now he's playing at a diamond level. A lot of these other players are following with the same critiques, and they're just improving every time they go into practice. They play together as a team, and they're playing with this community. So if you ever feel curious enough to ever want to try it, I would definitely want to give it a shot. But definitely, though, at the end of the day, both their teams did an incredibly good job, and they were able to put their heart and soul into this game, and that was definitely showing off for tonight. And I would like to applaud both of them, both of the teams that were playing this evening.
I have to agree with you there, Crunch. We were talking about during the break how Star-Lord is now applying to move up to a platinum team. Started out in the silver division just recently, like about a month ago or so, moved up to gold and is already ready to move up to the plat division. And the way that Star-Lord plays, oh my goodness. But that comes from continued practice with our teams, working with our coaches, which if you subscribe, you get access to our Discord channel. So feel free to either reach out to Alex or Loudtrex if you have subscribed to the channel but you are not yet invited to the Discord. You can meet with all of our teams, meet with all our commentators, all our coaches, try to get VOD reviews, get in on watching practices and VODs and stuff. Just so much goes on in our Discord. You just can't follow it all in one night. So is that it for us tonight?
That would be it.
So,
I believe so.
All right, folks. Well, that'll be all of it here at the OCCScrims. I'm Captain Jack.
and I am Hidden Crunch.
I'm Loud Tricks, and that's the Nakest of Monkeys. Good night.